Welcome back, everybody. Day 6 of the Views from Section 400 Bowlmas podcast segment, running through the games. You already know who I am by now. It's your host, Matt. Got my two co-hosts, as usual, Brian and Jack. Very special guest in AY joining us as well. At a very special day, because, Brian, I know you have the Rutgers ties.
Yep. Shout out Paul Houck, Rutgers alumni. Grew up going to those games. And Jack, I know you're from Jersey too, so.
Yeah, grew up going to a couple Rutgers games, down in New Brunswick, and I got a bunch of buddies that went to Rutgers. Shout out Mo and also Mo, two Mo's and a couple other boys there, but love that school. Definitely some fun times there, and I'll get back there over winter break.
And a little fun fact, Brian was in attendance for the Gary Nova 6-interception game. So Brian's got a lot of Rutgers ties going to games, and that's some good stuff right there, because 6 is a lot. It's a lot of interceptions.
Yes, it is. You just had to bring that up, didn't you?
I mean, dude, that's a lot of interceptions. To be in attendance for that specific game.
And they almost won.
I know. It was a wild game, dude. But yeah, 6 picks, Gary Nova, Rutgers legend. Not very good, but Rutgers legend just because he was there for so long. But without further ado, we'll jump over to the Miami side, the U side, whatever you want to call it, the Hurricanes in South Florida, down in Miami. AY joins the show. What's going on, man? We appreciate you being here.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me. It's always an honor to be on the pod with some self-esteemed guests such as yourself, or hosts for that matter. I'm the guest, but my name's Alex Young. I'm a University of Miami alum, and even to this day, I'm always going to be repping the Canes. Big love for football, big love for basketball, and like I said before, it's a pleasure to be on the pod with you guys.
Yeah, I know you obviously from high school, but then you went on to Miami. And somehow, some way, right when you got to Miami, they played Auburn in the NCAA tournament. And we were shooting the shit. But, I had a lot of faith going into that game because Auburn had a great year, won the SEC regular season. And Miami was, an 8 seed, 7 seed?
Yeah, 8 seed.
Miami went in and shit pumped them. So I'll give you your flowers. You have one on me and Jack for that matter. But yeah, I know Miami football hasn't been great lately. Miami basketball with Jim Larinaga is looking good. So, what are you thinking about this year before we get into football about the basketball team?
Oh man, I'm super excited. But before I get into this year, let me rehash on the past real quick. Jabari Smith, who? Jabari Smith, who? That guy looked like a nobody in that game. Miami's 4-guard system shut him down. He looked like he couldn't shoot. He couldn't do anything. Isaiah Wong, that guy's special. Don't even get me started on him, but we really took it to you guys. I remember texting you, Brian, before the game. I'm like, I wouldn't be so cocky. About this one. We're about to take it to you. Brian didn't know. He sure as shit, he did learn. Eventually, he did learn about what was about to happen. But, going on to this year, I'm super excited. Back-to-back Finals 4 appearances for the team. It's just something to build on. Obviously, we're missing out on my boy Isaiah Wong. Obviously, he moved on to the NBA, but I'm very excited for the younger guys that we got coming up. I think that Jim Larinaga, he's a great coach. He knows what he's doing, and it's just something for us to build on moving forward. I'm pretty sure we're ranked in the top 15 right now. And honestly, I don't see that changing. So definitely, I think that we're definitely going to be some players come March Madness time. So I'm very excited.
Before we move on to this football game, I gotta say one thing about that NCAA game, about that March Madness game. Jabari Smith, he did not have a good game, but that one was on Walker Kessler. I will admit to the world that I DM'd Walker Kessler after that game on Instagram and called him the softest basketball player I have ever seen in my life.
Oh no.
I know for a fact that's why he didn't come back to Auburn and why he declared for the NBA draft, because I was not alone in sending him messages like that. And he's soft and he needed a change of scenery. But yeah, that was on him. That was also just look at the free throw numbers in that game. Miami scored all of their points from the charity stripe. Kind of a lopsided game in that affair, but we don't really need to rehash that anymore. Let's move on to some football. Rutgers football, baby. Are you taking on the U? Matt, get us back on track here.
Yeah, dude, we gotta get into some football there. But I didn't even realize we could brew up a almost freaking 10-minute intro on on an NCAA game from a couple years ago. But that's what you get there, man. It was an exciting game, and I don't want to touch on it. The only thing I'll say is that was Auburn's year, man. And you put a stop to it. That was their year to do it.
The year to do it was when Samir Dowdy fell into Kyle Guy in the Final Four, and then Kyle Guy hit 3 free throws. But that was their second year that they could have done.
I think that Jabari Smith year was the more talented team, but we'll save that debate for a different day. We're not going to jump this into to a big old debate. So again, I'm definitely down to debate it with you guys, but let's talk some football, right?
It's Bowlmas.
Yeah, it's Bowlmas. It's Bowlmas, and that's what you get. But when you're up in Section 400, you get the drunk guys talking about the game from 3 years ago, because that's what it's all about. But yeah, Rutgers taking on the U. It's I want to get your opinion on it, AY. What was your time like at the U? Did you go to a lot of games? What was it like? Going to school in what they call paradise. Do people even give a shit about football down there? Do they give a shit about the sports? I mean, I guess I would, because I'm a sports fanatic, but you know where I'm coming from. I mean, when you're in paradise down there, it's tough to really have that hardcore fan base.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's the thing about Miami. There's so much to do down there. There's just so much going on, and unless the team's doing exceptionally well, people just, quite frankly, don't really care down there. I mean, that's just what it is. It's hard to get behind a team when they're not doing well. Like, hey, let's be real. Everybody loves a winner, but when you're not winning, it's like, it's one thing. So I'll take you through like football, for instance. So football, we always start off the season like soft, like we got a soft schedule, and we go like 4-0, 5-0, sort of like what happened this year for our team. We were 5-0 going into that Georgia Tech game, and then we all know what happened with that horrible fumble and whatnot. But, Miami's just like you said, it's a beautiful place. It's in the Sunshine State. A lot of distractions, a lot of girls, a lot of fun, a lot of partying down there, a lot to be had. So it's easy to lose focus of the sports. But for me, I tried to make it to a lot of the football games, but the way that they have the commuting set up with the school. So if you guys probably don't know, Miami's where we play is at the Dolphins, arena. Down,
right,
which is basically like an hour off of campus. So what they do is they shuttle you there and you shuttle you back, and it's just a mess. It's just a total mess. You'd go there and you'd wait in line for like an hour to get on the shuttle, and then let's say it's a blowout and you want to leave by halftime. You literally wait until the end of the game to even get on the shuttle to go back. So it's really restricted the fan base. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the Miami games. The stadium is pretty much empty other than like the lower bowl. It's really not much to be desired. Once they got rid of the Orange Bowl, it's really been gone downhill from there. I actually did a couple of projects on looking at the subsidies of getting a stadium on campus and looking at the inner workings to get that going, but it's really, financially it's impossible with how expensive real estate is down there in Coral Gables. But I had a great time there, great experience. The sports is great, the people are great, and I'll be real with you guys. I kind of miss that sunshine right now, being down in Philadelphia in the cold right now. So I am a little jealous of my friends who stay there, but no doubt.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely freezing out. So must have been nice living in the warm weather in the winter time. Definitely doesn't get old. But Yeah, obviously Miami taking on Rutgers. It is the Pinstripe Bowl, home of the newly acquired Juan Soto. Is he going to be in attendance
I think he's
in
gotta
the
be.
first main event kind of thing at Yankee
I
Stadium?
mean, we said
No
Caleb
shot.
Williams. We said Caleb Williams would be in the dugout at Petco Park. Do you feel like Juan
We
Soto would
did.
be at the dugout in
We
Yankee
did.
Stadium?
That'd be
No
pretty
way.
funny.
Say
Wrong,
it.
wrong kind of football for him.
It would be hilarious. I don't know if he's going to be there. I want to say no, but I really don't know. You don't know what they could pull off, but yeah, like you, I think you said, AY. Miami started 4-0, went on the 3 game skid, and end up with 7 point losses to FSU, who did have Jordan Travis and Louisville. So interesting stuff there. Brian, let's roll.
Yeah, no. So you kind of mentioned it, missing Miami, AY, but I know as an Auburn fan in DC, it's kind of tough to, stay in the, I guess, culture of a game day. So I'm interested to see if you have any rituals or fans up there that how you enjoy a Miami game day, because it's tough, not having, people that went to the school around you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, so I mean, I know you were in a fraternity, Brian. For us, what we would really do is we would usually have a big watch party at our frat house, and we would order catering from Chuck's Wings, which is, if you know Miami and you know Coral Gables, you know that that's a spot to get your wings. You probably get a couple hundred wings delivered to the house, booze with all the boys, and watch the game. That was sort of our ritual. Um, every now and then we would have tailgates, like we would show up and be on scene and be present, but for the most part, from what I personally preferred, was just kicking it back at the crib and watching the game, you know.
Yeah, nothing like some wings and some kegs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Miami was not walkable. It was like an hour drive in Miami traffic, which made it like an hour 45-minute drive, and it was just like you'd be on that bus regretting all your life choices, just trying to get back home and just get back.
That's an
Yeah.
absolute nightmare, man.
That is
The
horrible.
Oh,
Hard
dude,
Rock's in the middle
it's
of
it's
nowhere
wrong.
too.
It's so wrong. It's so wrong. They're depriving, such a good school, such a rich football history school of, what makes it elite, and what makes any program elite is the fans and the atmosphere that's created in the stadium. And, they really deprive the team of that. And as a result, the team's really struggled. I mean, let's be real. Like they used to be the creme de la creme, the top-notch school back in the very early 2000s. And
Yeah.
it's kind of it's a figment of what used to be, of what it used to be. So, but
Yeah, no, I mean, speaking of depriving them of what they used to be, Miami's down to their third string quarterback in this game. Their starter, Tyler Van Dyke, is on to Wisconsin, where I'm sure he'll be freezing his ass off next season. Emory Williams, the backup, he played well in the games he was in, but he's injured. So now you have Ja'Cory Brown, a 4-star recruit from a couple years ago, played a little bit last year, hasn't seen the field this year. So I know before the pod, you were kind of talking about how Rutgers might have a decent chance in this game. I mean, Miami down to the third string quarterback. I think I might ride with the Scarlet Knights here.
yeah, no, I don't disagree on your take about Ryan with the Scarlet Knights. I mean, not only Van Dyke hitting the transfer portal, but we got, 10 to 15 other guys who are hitting the portal right now, going God knows where. Don't even get me started about the portal and how it's ruining college football. But we got a lot of guys who are already checked out. They're already in the portal. We got a lot of guys who are injured. And, it's really not looking up right now for the team. I mean, what you see is like, especially with the game, not to disrespect Rutgers or anybody who likes Rutgers, but like, I just can't see this team getting up and being real motivated to play in this game in the freezing cold weather up in northern New Jersey. I just don't think that, I've seen a lot of Miami teams over the past couple years, and it's really been a letdown. I mean, they lost to Wisconsin a few years ago when they were also in the Pinstripe Bowl. It's I just don't think that this team has enough. I mean, they got exceptional skill players. They're really good up in the trenches and everything like that. But let's be real, like this is Rutgers Super Bowl. This is their big game to win. Going into the season, they're not always slated to make a bowl game every year. And so this is their Super Bowl. Miami football, this has been kind of a letdown year, a very underwhelming year. They brought FSU. We only lost by 7 points to them, only lost by 7 to Louisville. Like a lot of letdown games, a lot of disappointment. And I just think that this season isn't going to end on such a strong note. I think that the way that the season's going, and a lot of seasons have gone in the past for Miami, is that they're due for a letdown. And I just really think that Rutgers really wants this game more, and it's in their it's in their backyard. So it's gonna be
Yep.
it's gonna be a tough task for Miami without on their third string quarterback to come in there and get a win. I mean, obviously on paper they're more talented than Rutgers, but Greg Schiano, I have a lot of respect for him. Little throwback information: Mario Cristobal actually used to be Greg Schiano's defensive coordinator back when he was on his original stint with Rutgers, way back when. But I think that this is Rutgers' game to win.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. It's in their back pocket, like you said. I totally agree with everything you just said. It's right in their backyard. It's a home game for them. People are traveling right up to Yankee Stadium to check it out from Rutgers. Even all the way up in North Jersey, still going to be Rutgers fans. I mean, it's so close to the campus. And like you said, these guys are practicing in nice weather. They've been chilling in Miami for the last month or however long they're going to have until the game. They're not getting up for this one. And I know they've had a couple of nice pieces in, what was it, Xavier Restrepo. Who's the other guy? Jacoby George did pretty well this year. Obviously, now they're on the third string quarterback, kind of like you talked about. But AY, I kind of want to know what you see here, man, because the two receivers are electric. But with the third string quarterback, are they going to be able to do anything in this game to kind of keep the Hurricanes afloat and give them a shot?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest thing to look at in this game is who can establish the run game. Like whoever can run the ball is going to win this game, because as you guys all know, if you can run the ball, it opens up the pass game. You know what I mean? And what's a good run game is a quarterback's best friend. If Miami can run the ball with their third string quarterback, get a little play action, get some good looks going off of that, get the quick game going, get them, trying to stop the run. If they can get the quick game going and get it out to their really talented receivers on the outside, I think that they have a shot. But I think this game is really going to dwindle down to in the trenches. Football's a trench game. Whoever can win the trenches is going to win this game. And I think that up front, it's gonna, that's really gonna be the deciding factor in this one.
Definitely, I think could open up the play action too, and get some of those electric wide receivers involved if they are able to establish a little bit of a run game. But yeah, that's some good stuff on Miami. Jack, tell us what we need to know about the Scarlet Knights.
Dude, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, fire football team. Just they're the Tennessee Titans or the Pittsburgh Steelers of college football. Just a gritty fucking team. Year in, year out. Shiano's got these boys fucking ready to rumble, bite at kneecaps, as Dan Campbell would say over in Detroit. You never have that much talent on the offensive side of the ball. Usually just like a run first team, never any like wide receiver prospects or quarterback prospects. But yeah, most recently out of Rutgers, Isaiah Pacheco tearing it up for the Kansas City Chiefs. If you need me to, explain this grittiness that comes with Rutgers football, look no further than Isaiah Pacheco. I don't think anybody runs harder than that man since Marshawn Lynch, maybe. No, big take there, but might be true. Little bit about this team: 5-2 under Schiano in bowl games. I know we talked about it earlier. They're not a lock for bowl games every year, but when they get there, they show up and they want to win it. So 5-2, Pinstripe Bowl, right in their backyards. That trip from New Brunswick to the Bronx is half hour, 45 minutes, depending on your mode of transportation. I know a lot of you guys will be taking that subway in there, popping a tall boy on the subway. That'll be a good time. So have fun for that. Moving on, Gavin Wimsatt, their quarterback, 9 rushing touchdowns on the season, leading the Big Ten. almost 500 rushing yards, 9 passing touchdowns. Kyle Monahay, is that how you say that? Monahay?
I'm actually not sure. I should have looked that up, but he's good enough where we should pronounce his name right. But we apologize, Kyle.
Sorry, Kyle. But yeah, speaking of these Rutgers running backs over the years, Ray Rice and Isaiah Pacheco, this guy Kyle, over 1,000 yards rushing, most in Rutgers Big Ten history, and most for Rutgers since 2012. So it's pretty impressive stuff out of this guy. As AY said earlier, this game's going to come down to who can establish the run. If it's gonna be Rutgers showing up with that effort, winning the battle in the trenches, you have to think it's going to be them. But what do you guys think? What do we like on the predictions? I'll let AY start us off.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take my Homer glasses off real quick, and my prediction is to hit that Rutgers money line and hit it hard. I think we hit the nail on the head, hitting all the key points. I think that Rutgers is gonna want it more than them. I think that they're gonna get their first ever collegiate win versus Miami. Going into this, they were 0-11, so they've never beaten Miami before. So I think that they're going to get their first win. It kills me to say it, guys. I want Miami to win. I want to be on here telling you guys that, oh, we're going to run them down and it's going to be a blowout. But, from everything I know about the game and football, I just think that all the signs are pointing in Rutgers' direction, and I think that it's going to be a decisive victory. I think that they'll win by more than a touchdown, but that's just me.
Wow.
The home field advantage is definitely a big part in it. And not only home field advantage, right? It's not like a Midwest team is going into the Bronx. It's a team that's in paradise right now in warm weather. I think the cold's totally going to have them rattled. This isn't the NFL where, teams in warm weathers can come in and play in the cold and they're not affected. These are college kids. They're going to be rattled if it's ice cold up there on game day. But in terms of how I see this one playing out, I think I'm kind of where you guys were leaning with the home field advantage. I got Rutgers winning this game, covering whatever spread they got to cover. I'm a huge Greg Schiano guy. I think he's a great head coach. I love what he does up there. He tries to keep them competitive, and it's looking like Rutgers might start making a trend in the right direction after a pretty strong year this year. So I see Rutgers covering their spread, winning the game, and should be pretty dominant. I think, Miami could put up a fight, but I think Rutgers will just have a little bit too much, especially if it's cold weather. I think the cold weather would favor Rutgers, so much. So I got Rutgers winning this one and covering. I think it's a pretty safe bet to take, especially in that colder weather. But Brian, where's this one go, man? I know you probably got a lot of juice for the Scarlet Knights.
I do have a lot of juice for the Scarlet Knights. Going back on what Jack said about Isaiah Pacheco, that is friend of the program, Isaiah Pacheco. He hit our squad ride for us a few weeks ago. So thank you for that, Isaiah. Also, I love how Jack made the Tennessee Titans comment, along with the fact Rutgers doesn't really get receivers. I think the last decent receiver coming out of Rutgers was Kenny Britt, and he had like a 3-year career with the Titans back in the early 2010s.
Hey, Kenny Britt wasn't bad, man. He had a good
wasn't
little
bad.
years there, man.
So yeah, shout out Kenny Britt.
He was average.
Dude, he was a nice big
Not bad.
body receiver.
He
man.
was solid. Yeah, average doesn't mean bad. I feel like when you say someone was average, that it's immediately assumed
He was
negative.
a jag, dude. He was just a guy. He wasn't
not
like
negative
an
to
all
be
pro guy, but
average.
he was
You're
solid
just-
in his role.
He was a
Right,
decent
you're all
fantasy
right.
asset for a
He was
couple
not
years.
bad.
You're all right. You're average, but he wasn't a superstar. You're not gonna make
No,
the
no.
Hall of Fame.
But
The only reason anybody knows him is because he was, you know him from fantasy. If you ask somebody who doesn't do fantasy or just a common fan, they're gonna be like, "Who the hell is that?"
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a good point. I think that's the first time I've heard Kenny Britt's name in probably like all 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I
my
mean-
point there.
But yeah, no, just quick shout out Kenny Britt. But yeah, I am gonna have a lot of juice on Rutgers in this game. I don't think my dad would let me live it down if I didn't pick Rutgers in this game. So I'll pick Rutgers. I will also pick Gavin Wimsatt to find the end zone rushing. And I will pick Kyle to go over his rushing total and also find the end zone. So a little nice pro Rutgers, pro Scarlet Knights parlay there.
Love
All
it.
right. And yeah, I mean, just to give you the last prediction here, Jersey guy, rolling Jersey strong right now. They're winning this game. Right now, Miami is a 1-point favorite for some reason. So if you really want to take that +1, go ahead. But I'm slamming that money line, probably going 2 to 3 units on it because that's how confident I feel about this. We talked about it. It's the home field advantage. It's the cold weather. It's the good coaching. We're rolling with Rutgers, and they're gonna want it just as much as we do.
Big.
Hey, just to tag off of that spread, the spread opened up at Miami -4.5, and now it's Miami -1.5. So that just goes to show you where where a lot of the picks are coming from, and I think it's pretty much in line with what we've talked about today on the show.
That's a lot of movement, dude. 3.5 points, and we're still the game's what? This Saturday?
2 weeks away, no?
28th.
28th.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
2
so
weeks away.
still a little bit down the road, but yeah, I mean that's a big line movement. A lot of money coming in on Rutgers. Get in now because it's probably going to move a little more before we get to the game. So yeah, I mean everybody got their picks in. We're huge Rutgers plays out of everybody, and I love
Bowlmas
it.
squad ride.
Yeah. It's
Bowlmas
a Bowlmas
squad ride.
It's a Bowlmas
yeah.
squad ride, and I'm glad we brought that up because it's close enough to get boots on the ground. So if I can snipe tickets, and I don't know, Jack, if you'll be in the area, AY, you're in the area, Brian, you'll be in the area. I don't know if it's something that we can coordinate and figure out, but it's close enough to get the boots on the ground and have a views from section 400 field day. So something to look out for possibly in the cards. Would be super hyped to bring that to you guys. But that kind of wraps it up for this edition of Bowlmas. It's another hot one, Pinstripe Bowl, Rutgers and Miami. In Rutgers, pretty much backyard. We got a lot of juice on Rutgers. Definitely want to say thanks, AY, for being on the show, taking some time out of your week, and just joining us here, man, and chopping it up. Appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate you, AY, for always liking our posts and commenting on stuff. Support means the world, man. So appreciate like I said, you taking some time out of your day, man, to hop on and chop it up with us.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate you guys having me. It's always a pleasure, and I really love what you guys are doing. And I'm always going to be a supporter. I'm always going to be a fan. So I got you guys.
Love that, man. Love that, then. But other than that, that wraps it up, and we'll shut it down. It was views from section 400. It's Bowlmas. Stay tuned for the content and watch out for that January 1st live show because it's going to be hectic, and I can't wait.
Don't be a bum tomorrow, Peyton. War damn Eagle.
War Eagle, baby.
Go Canes.
Boom.
Go Canes. Go Canes. It's all about the U, baby. It's all about the U.